It was semi-retired, renowned film critic and writer Jack Garner who said, "I've been on top of Mount Everest, I've flown around Big Ben with Peter Pan, and I've stormed the beaches of Normandy and Saving Private Ryan." Garner says movies have the power to transport us to places we never imagined we could see or visit. And he says the key to a worthwhile journey for the movie watcher is all about originality of ideas in the film. With the Academy Awards right around the corner, Jack Garner is back on Need to Know to share his thoughts on the nominated films this year. Plus, he's got a top 4 list if you don't think you can screen them all in time for the Oscars. Jack, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Thanks, Helena. Yeah, it's great to be here. I appreciate it.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not great, 10 being thrilled, how are you feeling about the caliber and quality of films nominated this year?
This was maybe an 8 or 9. There were some areas that, some reasons it would be a 10, but generally overall it's probably about an 8.
8?
Which is good.
That's I think that's good.
Yeah.
So we'll jump right in. Oscars so white. So this has been an issue over the past couple of years, and that term referring to the scarcity of nominated films with a black cast, minority cast, other than white. Now, we see a change this year, and actress Octavia Spencer of Hidden Figures said, "Diversity this year is not a response to Oscars so white, but rather more about a tide changing slowly." And I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, that's the thing, is that the films are not made overnight, and they were not. These films were not made in response. By that I mean there are several films this year that are of color or involve people of color, or all kinds of different reasons to think that they're interesting and not white. And what's interesting is that, or what's made the point that must be stressed, is that they were all planned over various periods of time. It took a long time to get certain films made. I know Denzel Washington worked on Fences for a long time, and working with August Wilson, who's now deceased. So I mean, there's all these things. Some of these films take time. Hidden Figures, I think, took a long time. So because of that, there was not a response. It's just a nice sort of accidental saying to the world, "Hey, we're here. We're making good movies of all kinds and of all colors, and let's celebrate that." And hopefully that'll influence the future to have some more of that sort of balance.
Yeah. You said there are 2 trends that you noticed this year, one being more films featuring people of color.
Yeah.
What's that other trend?
The other trend is that there seems to be a whole new wave of American filmmakers, because several great legendary filmmakers who would usually be crowding the podium in Oscars past, like Spielberg, Scorsese, Clint Eastwood, they all made great movies. Clint Eastwood, Sully, and Spielberg's BFG, and there were lots of films by these guys, and Oliver Stone, Woody Allen. They're not being recognized this year, despite having made some good films. The only veteran among the 5, interestingly enough, ironically enough, is Mel Gibson. And I say ironically because he couldn't call a cab in Hollywood, until just recently. For a whole decade, he was anathema because he'd made some anti-Semitic things when he was drunk one night.
Yeah.
So now he's back with Hacksaw Ridge. It's sort of an undeniably really good movie. So they did nominate him. But other than that, it's all these new young Turks, which is exciting. It's because it's moving on. It's moving on.
Well, originality is a word that you said essentially separates the so-so good films from the really great ones. Right. So without getting into the nitty-gritty of the movies nominated this year, to what degree would you say that originality is there in some of these films? Are there any that you would say, my gosh, like these are unique?
Well, Arrival was very original. A good sci-fi film that's nominated for Best Picture. And that film took a whole new stance and a whole new philosophical edge on the Close Encounters kind of a movie, an alien invasion kind of movie. And so I like that, and that was very original. Hell or High Water is a Western, modern day Western that takes a whole new twist on things. I think La La Land, a musical in 2016. Who would have thunk it? And it pays tribute in a lot of ways to the old days. I mean, some of this is new and old at the same time. So La La Land is new and old because it pays homage to the stuff that came before. Fences is classic, which I like classic, and Fences is the movie that I liked best last year. Classics means that it fits any kind of age you want to name it. In my opinion, Classics is on a par with Death of a Salesman. It's the Death of a Salesman of the black community, and it's a great play and now a film. So
Well, La La Land and Fences, those were 2 of the 4 films that you said to me.
Right.
These could be, some of the big winners on Oscar night. The other 2, Moonlight and Manchester by the Sea.
Right. Moonlight is a really interesting cross-section of the portrayal of a young black man in 3 stages of his life: as a little boy, as a teenager, a troubled teenager, and then as an adult who's still sort of trying to find himself but getting closer to the truth. And it's a beautifully made film. I like Moonlight a lot, and it's gorgeously shot.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then the other one was Manchester by the Sea, which is an interesting look at a man who has something thrust on him that he has no intention of having thrust on him, which is to adopt the son of his brother who just died who was killed in an accident, and he died by natural death.
Yep.
And so because of that, he has to adopt the boy, and he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to go back to that same small hometown where he has a bad past. Yeah. So those were the films this year I thought that mattered the most. Although there's some sleepers out there. Lion is a sleeper. And so, and Hidden Figures is growing in momentum. That came out a little late in the year, but people love that movie.
Right. Well, I'm going to go back to La La Land for just a minute. Some of these 4 films. So I read some of the commentary on Facebook and messages on Twitter, and there was consensus among people, and they said, a small group, they said if you're a musical fan, you may not fall in love with La La Land. They didn't think that it delivered as a musical on film, and they said the singing and the dancing wasn't as strong as previous Hollywood musicals. And I wanted to get your take on that.
Well, I thought the dancing was pretty much as strong. I love that opening number on the thruway.
That was great.
And I can't believe they were able to get a freeway to close down in LA. And so that was wonderful. And I also like that number, the little soft shoe they do by the park bench when they're looking out over the view. Yeah. That's my favorite number in the whole film. I don't think their voices are very strong. I agree that the singing isn't what you expect in a musical. My wife took a very charitable position on that. She said, well, they're trying to show that anybody can be in a musical. Which I don't know whether that's... I'd rather see Fred Astaire do it than me, but what the heck? But it's still it's a winning. It's undeniably a winning movie, and I think the reason it's going to win, by the way, is because it's about Hollywood, and Hollywood loves Hollywood.
Well, I want to go to Moonlight. Yeah. I walked into that theater. I had no idea what I would be watching. I just heard superb acting, and it was interesting because a cast with absolutely no white characters in the film.
Right.
And they said this is different than what we've seen before.
Right.
I thought it was a really raw and powerful story about self-identity, masculinity, and homosexuality in urban America, urban Black America.
Right.
And I wanted to know, what do you think people will connect with in terms of this film?
The search for your self-identity and to be who you want to be. I love that scene on the beach right after the drug dealer turned father figure teaches him how to swim. And then he comes up on the beach and he says, he talked about how this one woman called him blue because she saw his face in the blue sunlight, which is why it's called moonlight, which is why it's called moonlight. But then he says, but you have to find out who you are for yourself, and you identify yourself by you identify your own self. Yeah. And so that's what the boy's spending the whole movie doing, identifying himself. Yeah. And that anybody can identify with.
That's right.
You don't have to be black, purple, green, or yellow or white. If you want to figure out who you are, you got to work at it.
Jack, we've got 30 seconds left. Sorry to do this to you with 30 seconds. Fences, that was your favorite, you said to me. Why your favorite? Why do people need to see it?
Because it is such a classic, because it has amazing acting in it. I heard some people say, well, he's not a nice guy, but then there's been a lot of not nice guys and a lot of great classic works. Shakespeare wrote a ton of plays about guys who aren't so nice. But it's important to know the story of why he got that way. And again, he's a guy still trying to find himself, although he's 60 years old, whatever he is. So I love Fences, but I don't think it's going to win. La La Land's going to win, I think.
All right. Well, Jack, thank you so much. You've given us a lot to think about. Also, a great list of movies that we can hopefully start crossing off our go-see list this weekend.
So it's next
thank
Sunday.
You for joining
next
me.
Sunday.
That's right. You can watch the Oscars on Sunday, February 26th, starting at 7 p.m. on ABC.